Guys, I'm in New York, and for this video I am going to see Tracey Emin's famous piece from 1998, the Exorcism of the last painting I ever made. I've never seen it, I've only read about it and looked at it on videos and stuff, so I can't wait to see this in real. So I was entered by this space where that cube over there is the actual room of Tracey Emin's room, and these are photos, a series of from Tracey working on the original concept in 1998. I didn't even know where to start, and if I start with here, I always love looking at her titles. The way Tracey uses words and titles is so crucial to her work, for anyone who knows her work. So I do like to have a look at that. I love this kind of laying there defeat kind of work, defeat by the work, or is it exhaustion? It makes you think, and you can see what she's been doing with the monoprints and the words and her expressions and her feelings. Already it was just making me have a feeling, and I was looking at these before going to have a look at Bird Box. Life Model Goes Mad Part 3. This particular one, for some reason, I was really drawn to actually seeing Emin's tattoos and her painting. So I'm going to go over now to the space that I've waited for so many years to see this. Apologies for that little camera angle, I was just taking it in for a second, but I wanted to be authentic and show you how I was looking at it, and then I was just working out how to show you the work, because for work you do have a kind of little barrier, so of course you don't go in and ruin the installation. Obviously this is meant to be capturing Emin's face, feeling that she's just been in there and just left the room and her energy's still there. That's why you can't trample through it, which I completely understand. It does mean I have to be a bit savvy with my camera, actually, not just to be able to view to show you guys, but also for myself. I wanted to actually look at some of these a little bit more in closer detail. So looking at the acrylic, I love working with acrylic and watercolour actually in my medium, and I just felt, I don't know, it's kinship as well as admiration is what I was feeling here. I just felt like I was standing among greatness, and I could see within her mind, her thought process, how she works. Some things I related to the way I work and the messiness to get the expression afterwards, and some of it I didn't relate to and yet just completely admired and was just like, wow. These pieces here particularly remind me, especially with her mum and dad drawings that you can see later on, it reminds me of the National Portrait Gallery and the famous doors that she's done recently. And you can see, looking at some of these pieces, how they've emerged from one idea and many years later have gone on to another idea. It really was a blessing to be here, and also I wonder how Emin felt looking back on this years later from doing it to actually when this is re-put up in this gallery, because for me, as a big fan of her work, her mind and the way she presents her work and the energy that she gives across, I feel like a lot of this was initial ideas, baby steps in a way, to the bigger things that she's landed up doing afterwards. As I said, the National Portrait Gallery doors, the idea of a mother where she does mum and dad. But also this is a seminal piece. You're never gonna see something like this done again. This is just phenomenal. There is so many references. I'm actually really emotional here. I did have a little cry when I actually looked at the work originally. I was so happy to be there. I'm never posed normally this much with pictures, as you guys can see, but I just literally didn't want this moment to end. I was enjoying even the music in the background, reading the actual notes. I'm gonna let you have a look at the moment and just listen to the background and get a sense of what I was feeling as well, and what you may feel from watching this. And her concept has basically what I just done. Girl, you gotta love your man. Girl, you gotta... Yes, that was me just peeping there, sneaking in the picture, also seeing Sarah, I love you Sarah, and I obviously felt that must have been to do with her reference to Sarah Lucas, and from previous videos you would have known I'm also a big fan of Sarah Lucas as well. So I love the way that everything was lined up neatly with the alcohol as well, but also thinking how chaotic, how much did you drink in those 3 weeks? But then maybe would I have done the same when I was in there for 3 weeks, locked away, doing just solely art? For a Tracey Emin fan, this is not just seeing in her mind, this is seeing her sketchbook, this is seeing her process, this is seeing some final pieces, this is the final piece, and it's seeing many pieces and inspiration for pieces that were to come. This is just an honour to be here, it really, really is, and this is me just again lapping up the process before I go, and thank you so much for watching this.